Today, Lisa and I are unpacking something much deeper: why high earning women still get financially stuck, and how to start funding the future version of yourself before you need her.
Men externalize their ambition, right? They're like, I'm going to, invest, da, 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 da. And we internalize our caution. We're like, oh, what if it goes wrong and something? No, we need to take a leaf out of their books and externalize our ambition as well, right?
We tend to be a little more risk averse.
We are.
Okay.
So across Africa, right, women are very resourceful, right? We can turn 1 naira to 10 naira, we can stretch money, right?
Good.
We're known for saving money. So women are geared towards perseverance, right? Safety, geared towards making sure nothing goes wrong, right? Than they are geared towards investment.
Okay.
Right. And it's just the way we are instinctively built. So we save. We want to make sure that the money is there. Have they stolen the money? No. Did they use it to do anything? No. Did they fly private jets? No. The money is there. But did they turn 1 naira into 1 million naira? Probably not, right?
But they've probably done it. They've probably turned it to 500,000.
Yeah, you've turned it.
You've done the job.
You've done the job. So I think if you have the remit, this is what you should do. We know how to take a test. We know how to do the test, right? But because we're risk averse, right, investing just seems a little bit in contrast with what it is that we want to do, right? So there's the cost of the cost of the excitement. Basically, it's better for us to hold the money, the fear of losing it, than think about the excitement of gaining whatever it is. We're like, we don't want to lose the money, so we want to protect it. And it's just in the nature to be protectors and
Correct.
to make everybody feel safe and secure. And that's the job that we do, right? And that's how it affects us as investors.
Right.
Yeah. I think we look at money as a responsibility, but we don't look at it as an opportunity to do more, right? So it's like, let me hold it, right? But the thing is that investing gives us a bigger opportunity than we had thought about, right? We need to plan for our future selves, right? So if you think of you now and the you want to be in 5 years' time, right? What is she doing? What do you want her to do? You have to plan for her, right? Is she driving a Maserati in the south of France? My car is a pink Lambo. But whatever she's doing, you need to put the money away for that person, that future you, to be able to realize her goals. So you're putting money away for somebody else, right? The you of the future. And that person deserves all that they can get because you've been working all this time, right? What are you doing it for, if not for future you to actualize, right? So I think it's a mindset that we're not thinking of it as an opportunity. We're thinking of the risk of losing the money as opposed to the excitement of gaining more money, right? So I think there needs to be a little bit of a mind shift.
Okay.
When it comes to female entrepreneurs and investing in business and seeing things differently.
So let's talk about that a little more. Traditionally, women have been savers, actually, right?
Yeah,
So when you
yes.
think about things like isusu and things like that, but those are typically, I guess, what we would consider to be low growth ways of saving, right? So you're saying that we have to have a shift of mindset, not just about saving, but also how we save, right? Because there is a cost of not saving aggressively early on.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, there is a cost. But I also think that there needs to be some kind of financial literacy, right?
Okay.
And when I say financial literacy, I'm not saying what's an asset, I mean, you need to hang out with your boys and understand what they're doing. You need to know what the deal is. Sometimes like even myself as a finance person, right? Sometimes when a deal comes across my table to invest in, I'm just like, I don't understand this thing, that's me, right? Talk less of,
Someone who's not
someone
even,
who's not, right?
yeah.
So you need someone to sit down and explain it to you and be like, okay, guy, this one, if you put the money here, this is how it's going to go. In 2 years, this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And you need to also, I think, sit with the boys and see what's making them comfortable. Why are they comfortable? Sometimes in a deal, there's so many other things happening, right? Not just what's at play. Who's the person behind it? Is there governance there? Is there no governance? So why are people rushing to do this one as opposed to the other one, right? So I think you need to have better allyship with your male counterparts in terms of what they're doing. Not all of them.
Or women
investing
wealth
wisely.
managers.
Or women wealth managers, or male your colleagues who are investing more than you are, and people who you want to emulate in terms of their investment pattern, right? So you need to build a body system. You need to want to learn, right?
A lot of times women will take care of others around them first or delay financial decisions because of others. How do we get them to start to choose themselves first without them thinking that it's a selfish thing to do?
For many women, particularly Black women, a bank account is never just personal. We manage what Lisa refers to as the emotional economy, the invisible costs that keep everything running. And we treat those costs like they're extras. Can you imagine? They're not. They're infrastructure. So let's talk about how to actually plan for them.
There's one of those sayings. People. There's this thing where they say, "My money is my money, and your money is our money." And I was thinking about this saying recently, and it's an old, maybe Nigerian saying, African saying, or something, and it made sense to me for the first time, like in my 40s, right? Because I was like, the woman has three different economies that she has to think about, right? So she's thinking about her personally, she's thinking about her immediate surroundings, family, and whatever. But there's this emotional economy that we don't really talk about, right? Who's sneezing? Who's coughing? Which cough syrup should we buy for this person? Blah, 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 blah. It's not, nobody speaks about it. Nobody's asking you for money for it. It's just breathing with you, right? And it takes a lot of money, and it takes a lot out of you, right? And if the woman is successful, the family is successful, right? That emotional economy that she's taking care of, nobody else is taking care of that economy. That's why when they say, my money is my money, I think of it like, yes, because there's so many things I can see that my husband can't see, right? I've got a lovely husband. I like him a lot. He's an amazing guy, right? He's not seeing kata, like small little drip down my kid's nose, right? And then, so I'm just going to do something to fix that. And there's so many different things like that that he just can't see. And it's the gift and the curse for being a woman, right? So I think you need to think about it like this. If the woman is successful, if the woman is saving, if the woman is buoyant, the family as a whole is buoyant. That's where you now start seeing flowers on the table, and fresh flowers, and the house smells nice, and everybody looks happy, and the scented candles and all. It's from a place of excess, right? So you want to give yourself that excess. You want to honor yourself, and goes back to paying yourself, right? Pay yourself. Honor yourself for the hard work you've done. Put some money away for the future of, your own self-actualization, right? And if that person has more money to spare, the entire family has more money as a result, is better off as a result, because you have more money for the emotional economy that nobody gets to see but you.
There was something, that you spoke about, which I thought was very interesting, which is around this whole mantra around saving in threes.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you speak a bit more about that?
Okay.
So, how do we move from caution to control? Lisa has a really simple formula, what she calls the 33% rule. It's not about perfection, it's about creating a standard that funds today's life while protecting tomorrow's options. Very important to do. 33% rule.
You have $100 as your salary, right? You break it into three pots. One is my expenses now, one is my, you know, expenses later, gifts, family things that I don't know I might need, you know. And then you have your savings, which is like that one we don't touch. Then you go into your savings, and these are called portfolios. Now you now start managing your savings in different portfolios, right? A high interest one, a high risk one, I don't know, 1 year savings, fixed interest, fixed income deposits, something like that. You know, property, whatever you want to do, right? And then you have a diversified portfolio, and then that way, you know, they're not reacting the same way. One is bringing high interest, one is not doing anything at all, it's just sitting down there. But you need to automate the habit of funding that kind of an account regularly such that it's growing, you know, and you're not thinking too much about it. Meanwhile, you're just managing in your little 33 dollars,
yes.
right? But every time you open that account and you see those zeros inside that place, you will thank yourself.
You'll be excited.
You will thank yourself. You will thank yourself. Investing breeds a lot more financial freedom than just saving, right? If the opportunity that we shy away from, we were talking earlier, and it's like when somebody brings an investment and you think about, oh my God, you want me to put 10K into this thing, you know, the loss of that amount that, you know, you're going to put in there is quite scary. But we need to also try to hang on to the reward, you know, as a, you know, like getting, like if you do this, you could gain such and such. And sometimes you hold that money and you lose it. You hold that money, you don't invest that money in whatever your friends were investing. You bought a bag, shoe, something, it's gone.
Always terrible. The bags and shoes.
You know,
always terrible.
You spent it on something
Always
and
terrible.
it's gone. So
please don't let anyone tell you a bag is a good investment. It's not.
It can be if it's a certain kind of bag. But, you know, so, you know, put the money into something where you say, I invested here and I lost it. As opposed to, you know, you just have this item and somebody poured, you know, Coke on your bag and you're not carrying it anymore. I don't know. But we have to think about how investment as something that also brings us
accelerates,
joy, right? And accelerates your self-actualization and brings the time closer.
In closing, two things.
Yeah.
What do you wish you had known earlier in your own financial journey? And what's one behavior women can change in 2026 that will dramatically shift their financial future?
Okay. One thing I wish I knew earlier was to save first, not perfectly. I think, you know, just save little, right? I kind of wanted, you know, then I would save. You know, if this, then
I will save.
Then I will save.
Just start.
Just start. Yeah. Just put the money away.
No matter how little you earn.
Yeah, whatever it is, just put it away. It will grow. If you do the habits, it's like everything, you know, like how hard you've worked to get to where you are. It's the same thing like savings. You put it. That money would grow. The money compounds. You know,
exactly.
It just grows on itself, and you have more and more and more to work with, and it's a really good thing. I want to say something to if you're a young person in Nigeria, I want to recommend Piggy to you. Right? This is an app where if you just put the money in and you put it into a safe lock, right? It gives you your interest upfront. Girl maths. So if you put in 100 naira in there and it gives you 20% upfront, you have that 20% immediately, right? And then you can lock that in as well. So these are things you can start doing to see your savings. So you now see how much interest you can have, right? And that is an exciting feeling.
And it motivates you.
It motivates you to save more.
To do more.
So there are different ways. So I think just, you know, take care of yourself, save early, save quickly, save little. Save the smaller amounts. And the second question was,
what would you advise women to do that could dramatically change their financial future in 2026? One decision they can make.
Okay, I don't have one decision. Sorry, I'm gonna
sorry.
do it. You know,
okay.
Sorry.
One behavior.
A behavior
that women can change this year that will dramatically change their financial future. I say delete the shopping apps.
No, just delete. Unfollow. Wait. One, I think you should talk about things, right? There are things we talk about. I don't think we talk about savings, right? You need to talk to people. What are you doing? How are you saving? What are you saving in? You need to talk to your guy friends. The guys are saving. The guys are doing some crazy things. They're investing, right? You ask your guys, guy, what are you investing in? Right? Let him tell you.
So they should get an advisor, basically.
You get an advisor, but I'm saying also talk to your friends, right? You have a strong group of friends around you that you trust. Maybe. Okay, if you don't, right? Look for an advisor, a financial advisor, please. But if you have friends in leadership and friends in positions that are investing, talk to them about what it is that they're doing, right? And I think that's a game changer if you're talking to people like, what are you investing in? And then you can probably join an investment club or something to see, investing as a group, right? I think that's it. And I also think a small habit, because you asked me about if you're investing for the first time, is automate your investments. Automate all your investments. So it has nothing to do with you actually going to see the big money to make it small. Just automate it so that it happens, by itself. On the 30th, I get paid. On that day, this does that, that does that. And when you go on 30th evening, whatever you have is what you have to spend.
And that's it.
And that's it. So
that's been an amazing point. The automation, we see it as something so simple and inconsequential, but actually you're right, because the money hits and then it's gone, and you don't even have to think about it. So Lisa, this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm not following you in your pink Lamborghini at all, but if you are someone who has been trying to figure out how to save and invest, this is a really wonderful episode. Please hit the follow button and share with your friends. 2026, we are all about financial independence. Lisa, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and see you soon.
If you're a high performer who feels financially stuck, this isn't just about numbers. It's about choice. Financial infrastructure is what keeps your career a decision, not a dependency. Let me repeat that. Financial infrastructure is what keeps your career a decision, not a dependency. Don't wait for permission. Build the foundation now, today. I'm Uche. See you next time. Thank you for listening to the Don't Let the Smile Fool You podcast. I hope you found it really, really interesting. But more importantly, I hope you're still smiling. See you soon.